Welcome to the Antoy Show Survive and Thrive series, where you get information you can use to transform your life and business during coronavirus and beyond.
This is part 5 of a series for Mental Health Awareness Month. Today's episode is COVID-19 vaccine and the new normal.
Welcome to the show, you guys.
Thank you.
How are you guys all doing today?
Nice to be here.
Let's start by introducing yourselves to everyone so they know who you are.
My name is Angel Moore. I'm a licensed clinical mental health counselor, and I am the owner of a Moore's Counseling Service where we're here to help those with any mental challenges that they may have.
All right.
My name is Dr. Clinton Bullock, and I am the CEO and founder of Clinton Bullock Coaching. And I am a life coach, and I assist people in fulfilling their dreams and their goals. And I assist people in pushing their life ahead so that they may live a successfully professional and personal life.
Oh, awesome.
Hello, my name is Carrion Laylor. I'm a licensed professional counselor and certified anger management specialist. I am the owner of Agape Transformation Practice. We are a mental health and wellness center in Decatur, Georgia, and we work with the high achieving women who are juggling lots of plates and trying to make the world a better place in their own right and don't find the time to really take care of themselves or to receive the support that they really need. So we allow them to come into our office or into our space and take off the masks so that they can really focus on themselves and get everything that they need.
Awesome. You guys are doing amazing work. So let's talk a little bit about, we have a vaccine now, and some people, are all for it, and some people are terrified because of, the history of vaccines. How does the vaccine relate to people's mental health and their thoughts on that?
They're stressing. They're just stressing whether, should I take it? Should I not take it? I need it for work. Should I, I can't go to work if I don't do this, or, so they're just stressing. I think it's the stress factor of trying to figure out the anxiety too, like what to do, stress and anxiety, just trying to figure out, should I take it or not?
I just had a physical yesterday, and I was talking to the nurse practitioner, and she took it, and then I did ask her questions, and she said that she took it. She got the first dose, and the second dose, she said, kicked her butt. And I said, I heard it makes you sick. And she said, oh yeah, makes you sick within 24 hours. And then you're fine within 24 hours. I have no issue. I don't like being sick. I'm still traumatized over what happened. So if it's going to make me sick even for 24 hours, I'm going to put it off a little bit. Plus I have the antibodies from already having it. So I'm good for a while. But I did get the flu shot. I'm a big fan of vaccines as a whole. It's the single most the innovative thing that as people that we've come up with. We don't have polio, we don't have measles, we don't have chicken pox anymore. I mean, we don't have things that typhoid, we don't have these things that we used to have. They used to kill people. We used to get the common cold and die, or used to get measles and die. And this still happens in parts of the world. So I'm a big fan of keeping us, healthy, because this is why we live longer than we've ever had before. People used to be dying at 30, at 25 of polio, which we don't do anymore. So I'm a big fan of vaccines on a whole list.
This is loaded for me. I'm a fan of vaccines as well. I don't believe we have a vaccine. And I'm not a doctor like that. And I definitely have not done the deep research, so that I will acknowledge. What I do know is that this so-called vaccine does not cure the virus. So we don't call the flu shot a vaccine because we have to take it yearly. Why are we calling this a vaccine? My belief is that our bodies can heal itself, And if we have been exposed to the virus, that our bodies will do what it needs to do to heal itself, that this vaccine is said to do. I'm concerned about the long-term effects of the vaccine. To address the mental health piece of it, I appreciate the way that the vaccine has been marketed to ease the fears that Americans have around being sick in this pandemic and the idea of it actually being over at some point, which it will, with or without the vaccine. I recognize that particularly for the elderly people and the people who have preconditions, that they have an enormous amount of anxiety around living. And so the vaccine brings about that comfort to know that your symptoms won't be as bad. It doesn't stop people from being contagious, right? Because I can be vaccinated or, and still be contagious, correct? What do you know?
Exactly. There's not a whole lot that's
Right.
known. Yeah.
And I only brought up that point because in terms of mental health, what the pandemic has done has created an insecurity in life. And so the claims of this so-called vaccine creates that like security that I can be okay, and creates the hope. And for that, that's helpful to kind of quail some of the anxiety and the fear around this pandemic.
I really think that there's still things that we're still developing because it came out pretty quickly. I think with respect to trying to assist people physically and psychologically, I think that it's doing a good job in that way. It's hard because it came out really fast. That's my slight piece right there. It's like, this came out, But then again, I think about it this way: every year they develop a flu shot. So the flu shot is the same that they had last year. They have to redevelop it based upon predictions and so forth. So it's a different one every single year. So they've gone through the process of creating shots and vaccines for a long time. So I'm going to trust it in the end because it's all that we have, and it's all that we can do at this point. That's just me. Like I said, I'm good because I had it. I have the antibodies that helped me out for a while, so I'm going to be good. And I don't want to be sick for 24 hours for nothing right now.
Something that someone explained to me regarding the vaccine, a doctor, was that it was approved for emergency use. So it's not a cure. It's not, there was a dire situation. So what's the alternative? People dying or us doing something that could help them. So that's kind of what the emergency approval is. And that's what all these vaccines have. They're emergency approved vaccines. So, in the perfect world, they develop something else and they'd have more time to see the side effects and what are going to happen to people if they take them. But right now, because it's so dire and with people, the people dying, that you have to approve something. So it's kind of like almost like the approval is like that. So it's for emergency use.
My opinion is whatever you want to do. And if you want to take it, take it. If you don't. However, if all the doctors and the nurses take it and the side effect is death or being paralyzed, then we're in trouble because our nurses and doctors will be gone. So, everything may have a long-term effect, but what someone said that they was like, but if all the nurses and doctors take it, what happens then if we get sick? There would be no nurses and doctors, So I was like, got a point. So you could decide to take it because they took it, or you could decide, you don't want to take it. I mean, I guess it's to each his own, but can you imagine the anxiety that would bring to the people if they feel like the nurses and doctors are going to die because they took it, they took the vaccine and now they're like, so what's going to happen to me?
Sounds like one of my zombie movies.
I no, but I don't think you're that far off. I think that
Right.
that there will be a time, especially next year or what have you, maybe later in this with the winter again, when these types of things come up a lot, flu and so forth. I believe that you'll have to have, just like I think it'll be incorporated, just like with children, they have to have certain types of vaccinations. I just think that this is just one of them. The thing that separates this out is that the other vaccinations you only need to get once or what have you. This is one of those things like the flu where you would have to get most likely every year because they have to come out with a different kind of
Different
shot
strain.
different strains. So I think that might be the difference. But because there's so much hysteria, and since this shut down the world, I really do believe that we're probably going to get to a point where you will have to have the coronavirus shot and vaccine to even work. And this has already happened. My god sister, she had to have the shot to vaccine before she returned to work, even though she had already tested negative. They were just like, it doesn't matter. So different businesses and organizations are definitely requiring this to occur. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And from my understanding from the doctor I spoke to regarding the vaccine, if it's approved for emergency use, technically they cannot force you, they cannot tell you that you have to get it in order to work, per se, legally.
Well, we know the history of legality in America.
They could still get out of here.
Or they find some other reason to fire you,
Exactly. Do you feel that the vaccine has eased some of the mental fears?
I do, because they want to get out. They want to do things. I'm doing teletherapy. Some of my clients is like, oh my God, I got to get back into the office. I want to come back into the office. And, when you're going to open up again. And then there's some, especially the married couples, they was like, well, because the kids are home and they want to yell and scream and cry. And when they're doing therapy. And so they was like, I just got to stop now because, until you get back in the office, because it's just, I have no privacy here. I think it will make them more comfortable. It would absolutely positively make this one more comfortable if they take it. And, and I still need to be, apart, but it would make me more comfortable for them taking it. And I'm not opposed to taking it at all, the one shot. But I think it will. I think it's going to ease a lot of stresses, mental stresses for people.
This is another perspective, and the other perspective is that because unfortunately it's become so political, and it's because based on and who's pushing the narrative of taking it versus taking it, of those who don't want to take it. So those who don't want to take it are maybe of one political side, and those who do, and it becomes that thing, which becomes really sad. So I guess I think it creates a lot more stress, Angel, in this way, is that, for example, you said that you would take it and you would prefer for people to, but then because of how politicized it's become, there's a lot of people that just won't, and just for that plain reason. And then I think that creates a lot of stress for people, let's just say in your situation where you're just like, I want people to take this, I'm going to take it, and so forth. But there's a lot of people who won't, just based on politics alone. And I do think that that's unfortunate. And
it's fine if they want to take it. There's teletherapy, because I have immune issues. And so I want to be as careful as possible. I have a family. I have kids who love me, 5 of them, a husband and family that loves me. So, and I have some issues that I prefer they take it. If not, teletherapy will work just fine. And masks, they can wear their mask.
And Karen, what do you feel? Feel that the vaccines ease some mental stress for people overall?
I mean, I believe it's twofold. There's the population of people who are looking for hope and who are wanting this to go away. And so this so-called vaccination seems like that. And so, of course, run towards it and take it. And yes, everything will be back to normal at some point soon. And then there's other groups of people who have a healthy distrust of the information that's coming out, because it's not omission is not honest information. So it makes it challenging to really take the news that's being shared and ingest it as truth when there
Right.
is a history of
Right.
misinformation and limited information being given, and then control as well, because just like Dr. Bullock talked about, someone had to get the vaccination to go to work, or there's this movement that's coming towards uh, passports being digital or something like that. So you basically have to have the vaccination in order to travel. Vaccination in order to travel. I always get a bit concerned when things are pushed on us and we have no choice. Mass communication is this is not this is what you need to do. In order for this to go away or for us to move back to normal, this is what you need to do. There's this divide that's interesting to observe and be a part of.
So there's comfort and then there's the other side. I enjoy talking to you guys. This is awesome. And I love the different perspectives. I'd love to sit and watch a debate between Dr. Bullock and Carrion and Angel in the middle. Let's talk about, what you want to leave the viewers with as far as your overall feeling with coronavirus and mental health.
For the mental health, I want them to understand that it's okay to reach out for help. You're not alone. The way you're feeling and thinking, know that someone else is feeling and thinking the same way. And you're not alone in this. Reach out to us, and so that we can help you process and get to where you want to get to full functioning life, because we care.
Do not feel that there's some type of stigma that's going on with mental health. I know that there are some of my clients that do feel that way. I've known people personally that feel that way. They go through like, oh, so they have this thing where it's like, now I'm crazy. It's like, no, that's not what this
No.
is. And you don't have to feel that way. But many people do. When it comes to this area, like, I'm not functioning well, something's wrong with me. That's not the case. It's just as if we have those who have, let's say, diabetes or just as something else. It's just that we have to attend to things in our world, in our physical and mental state, so that we can continue functioning in a very efficient manner. So whether it's our physical state or our mental state, we should treat them the same and get assistance where we feel as though we need it. And again, I just want to say, there's two things that could be measurements. If you are feeling negatively or bad for a longer period of time, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and it's just like it's just not going away, then yes, you could just see someone, and there are free hotlines to do that. You don't even have to wait a month or 2 months. If you immediately understand that it is affecting you physically, sexually, or your performance at work, or this level of sadness, which could be depression and or other bipolar, it could be a lot of other things. So when it also affects you negatively as well for long periods of time, then definitely we want to check that out. So please don't feel afraid, and because there are people out there who would love to help you.
I am all about empowerment or empowering. And so the reality is that this pandemic has been very difficult, and you have the support that you need in order to get through it. You are going to get through it. We are all getting through this. And so you have options that you get to choose. You get to choose to get the support that you need so that you can move through this in a more empowering and comforting way. And you also are empowered to create your own environment. Despite what's going on out in the world, what do you want to create for your life, your world, your experience? When you identify what those things are, you can begin, particularly with support, to create those comforts If the world feels unstable, you create stability in your world. If the world feels scary, you create safety and security and stability in your world. So get the support that you need so that you can experience the hopefulness that's here for you as you move forward and move out of this pandemic.
This too shall pass, like everything else.
All right. That's all great stuff. And the great thing about this is you guys shed light on so many things during this conversation. And I know that our viewers will benefit greatly from it. Let the audience know where they can find out more about you guys.
They can find me on amorescounselingservices.com. And if they need to reach out, I'm available for you.
ClintonBullock.com, or at Coach Clinton Bullock, at Coach Clinton Bullock on Instagram.
You can always go online at agapetransformation.com and get all of our information. We also have a Facebook page, which is Agape Transformation.
Thank you guys so much for coming on the show today and sharing so much information. It was great to kind of reflect on the journey we've been on with this coronavirus and how it's affected us. And it's, I know it's going to really help a lot of people.
This is part 5 of a series for Mental Health Awareness Month. Catch other episodes.
If you're experiencing anything we talked about today, please reach out for help. You don't have to face this alone. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw on this episode, make sure you share it with everyone. And if you want more inspiring content, go to youtube.com/The Antoy Show, mangoseed.tv, and antoygrant.com. See you guys soon.